This home theater package is a little bit ridiculous. And it sort of reminds me of when I got to review the Paradigm Founder home theater package, in that these speakers are friggin' huge. The only difference with these, though, is they just don't cost an arm and a leg. My name's Saps, this is 0102 Studio, and this is a review of the Aperion Audio Verus 3 Concert home theater package. This package consists of the giant speaker behind me that you see there, the Verus V8T 3-way dual 8-inch tower floor standard speakers, which retail for $39.98 US. The Verus V8C 3-way dual 8-inch center channel speaker, which retails for $13.99 US. The Verus 3 Concert V8B 8-inch bookshelf speakers, which retail for $14.99 US. The Verus V8T 3-way dual 8-inch floor stander is a 3-way Diapolito driver configured speaker. It has features that make it a very flexible speaker. It stands a tall 51 inches and weighs 77 pounds. The frequency response is 26 Hz to 35 kHz. Impedance is 4 ohms and sensitivity is 91 decibels. Recommended power is 20 to 200 watts. The tweeter is a patented 28mm axially stabilized radiator (ASR) silk dome tweeter. It has a lower crossover frequency to unburden the mid-range cones above 2.6 kHz. The mid-range drivers employ dual 5¼ Kevlar cones with an aluminum bullet cone phase plug. They cross over at about 300 Hz. The dual 8-inch long-throw linear excursion Kevlar woofers take care of the low end. It also features level adjustment for treble and mid-range. You can adjust the treble plus 2 decibels, minus 2 decibels, and minus 4 decibels. You can also leave it alone. Ditto for the mid-range. I brought both down by 2 decibels. They also include optional port plugs if you want to tame the boominess in your room. I left them in the box. Custom black outrigger feet complement the looks, and Aperion supplies metal spike pads to protect the floors. The Verus V8C 3-way dual 8-inch center channel speaker is friggin' huge. This utilizes the same tweeter and the same 8-inch drivers as the tower. It's different in that the cabinet is a sealed box design, and the 2 mid-range drivers sit below the tweeter and between the bass drivers. The level adjustment is a simple treble mod to reduce the treble by 3 decibels. The frequency response for this is 35 Hz to 35 kHz, impedance is 4 ohms, and sensitivity is 92 decibels. The surrounds are the Verus 3 Concert bookshelves. These speakers are a 2-way rear-ported speaker. It features the same tweeter and bass driver as on the towers. Around the back, you get a large bass reflex port that sits above 2 sets of 5-way gold-plated binding posts with 12-gauge bind post straps. You can bi-amp these if you wish. Rounding out the back, the treble mod allows you to reduce the treble response by 3 decibels. The frequency response for this speaker is 35 Hz to 35 kHz. Impedance is 6 ohms and sensitivity is 88 decibels. The cabinets are HDF, which is stronger and more dense than MDF. The cabinets are curved along the sides and on top and finished in a beautiful cherry gloss that's pretty striking. It's furniture quality, but make no mistakes, this still looks very much like a speaker and not like a high-end piece of furniture. The front baffle is black and the magnetic grills sit inset into the speakers. The result is a seamless look with the grills on, but I found the speakers to sound their best with the grills off. Aperion supplies a grill removal tool to assist with taking the grills off, though you can pinch the material and just pull the grill right off, and that's what I did. Also supplied with these speakers is Aperion's own Energy 7-channel home theater power amplifier, the E7. This 7-channel monster retails for $18.99 US. It has all the features that you might need for a power amp: trigger ins and outs, protection circuits galore, balanced and unbalanced connections, and oversized heat sinks. It's rated at 150 watts, all channels driven. I set these speakers up in our basement. It's actually the room that I'm in right now. It's a multi-purpose room for me. No one uses it except me, and it's my DJ setup room, it's my work room, it's my home theater room, it's my everything room. It's a fairly decent sized basement. It's about 31 feet long by 25 feet wide. The area where I set the speakers up, just in front of me there, it's about 12 feet wide by 15 feet deep. The floor standard speakers that were here were actually set up there about a foot away from the walls. The couch another 8 feet back from that. The rear speakers were sat on two shallow desks or narrow desks just behind the listening position of dead center. It's usually just me sitting down watching TV down here. No one else really ever comes down here. And the center speaker is sat on a media console just in front of me. I requested the Marantz Cinema 70 for this review for a variety of different reasons. First, selfishly, I think it's sexy as hell and it's kind of a perfect receiver for me. Second, my own theater package is not as robust as the Verus Concert 3 package, and the Marantz should be able to power that one no problem. But for the purposes of this review, the Marantz receiver has pre-outs and a full suite of pre-outs, meaning I can pre-out all 7 channels into the power amp that's supplied from Aperion. So that's exactly what I did. The elephant in the room is the TV. It's tiny. It's actually dwarfed by the center channel speaker. And if I'm being honest, we just never got around to buying a large TV for this basement. And it's just not on the big priority list. I know maybe it should be if I do more of these reviews, but you know, there are other things to pay for in a new house, and a brand new 70-inch TV is probably not one of them. It's not a great TV either. It's 43 inches. It's 1080p. It is what it is. The other one is maybe not as apparent, but my subwoofer for this review is the B&W 610. I've had that subwoofer for a long time, and it just does not have enough juice to play with these speakers. I like a little more oomph in bass, and normally that speaker is paired with like the Q Acoustic 3030i, and that's a decent pairing, and having a really large subwoofer for that package doesn't really make too much sense. But for a package like this, I really wish I had a bigger sub. Also, you probably noticed I'm using a pair of Aperion's Theatris line of speakers for the side surrounds just to round out those 7 channels. I quickly realized that my media console only had enough space for the giant center channel speaker and not much else. So I needed a place to A, put the receiver, and B, put the power amp. So I picked up a fairly cheap metal shelf to house both of those. And I made sure I braced the bottom shelf with like 2 2x4s just to make sure that it didn't sink too much. And wouldn't you know it, it bent the shelf even with the 2x4s in place, because I think one of them kind of shifted and fell, and I was out a coffee table. So I had to think of a emergency hack on the fly to finish off this review. And sorry to you and to Aperion for how ugly the setup looks, but I had to make do, and this is what that looks like. Yuck. All of these speakers are finished in a beautiful cherry gloss, and all of these speakers have magnetic grills. The magnetic grills are actually inset into the speaker's front baffle, and it gives a really nice, streamlined, and minimal appearance. Though, I found, especially when I was playing the concert bookshelf speakers in a hi-fi setup, that at louder volumes, there is a vibration and then an audible vibration noise when you're playing them loud. So you do best to remove the grills for anything other than low-level casual listening, just to mitigate any vibrations. Once I had everything set up and like the level adjustments all dialed in and I was off to the races, I just cranked these up and just went to town. And holy crap, these kick ass. Like they sound really, really big and just all the feels. Prey. Predator is my favorite movie. Actually, Predator is the best action movie of all time. Yeah, I said it. It is. And Prey is the best sequel in the Predator franchise of movies. It's just really, really well done. It's infinitely rewatchable, and everything in that sound mix, from the quiet moments to the really loud killing scenes, is just incredibly immersive. And with all 7 speakers in play and that movie turned up to 11 is just amazing. And I'll admit to jumping at some points, even though I knew how it was going to end. I mean, all Predator movies are pretty much the same. Like, you know how it's going to end. It's just there's one alien hunter and it picks the champion hunter and it kills everyone off, all the weaker people off consecutively, and then has a face-off and then loses. Maybe all the sequels just need to do something else. But yeah, great movie. Interstellar is a movie that I put on when I want to test out a home theater package. It's a wonderful movie. Again, it's infinitely rewatchable. The soundtrack's amazing. The atmospherics are amazing. The orchestra that's playing for the soundtrack sounds really good. And everything in the dialogue is really crisp and really clear through these speakers. And even when there's a lot of atmospherics in play, the dialogue is really easy to hear. And when things get going in flight or crash scenes, or like when they're going through a wormhole, it's just all the shakes and all the rattles and everything you really want. I also tried the Verus towers there behind me, connected to my long-term loaner, the CXA81 from Cambridge Audio. That's an 80 watt per channel amplifier. These speakers are really efficient, and that amplifier powers these no problem. With tunes, there's a track by Homemade Weapons called Spasmolytic. I think I'm gonna get that right. I might have just pronounced that wrong. But this tune kicks ass through these speakers. They handle the bass no problem. You don't really need a sub. It's a really frenetic track too. Having a three-way tower, being able to like isolate all the sections of sound and convey them really properly is really, really nice. And yeah, give that track a try. The other song is from Etherwood, the Souvenirs remix from Ulterior Motive. Ulterior Motive's not around anymore, or they split up. But that remix of that tune is spectacular. Everything from like the sweet vocals, really tight drum programming, awesome bass, and all the fun distortion that they like to add in slams on those speakers. And just, I could listen to that track over and over. I actually have it on CD and vinyl, so it's wonderful. What was the other track? Let me check my notes. The other track was, Your Love by Frankie Knuckles. That tune, I mean, it's old as balls right now, but that tune, just from the top, just chills every time. Especially when I put it on a pair of speakers that I haven't heard yet, or a brand new pair of speakers to me. It's like the song's just brand new. And actually, every song is brand new when you hear it on a new pair of speakers, to me anyway. But yeah, Your Love, Frankie Knuckles, just, it starts off amazing, and when it finally kicks in and drops, I have a hard time sitting still. I wish I could play it right now so I could just like groove to it. Like it's a wonderful tune. Classic house all the way. But yeah, that tune rocks on these. These speakers rock. And if you want large, high-end sound, this is a speaker package for you. If I had the space for these speakers, I'd love to own them, but you know, I have to give them back. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.